Yeah, you know what it is. Welcome to the best coast. Yo, it's Bronze Age nerd with that collecting elite. Bigby McFly steady bringing the vintage heat. Pull up a seat, we diving in the stacks. Silver to the bronze, got the knowledge on tap. From Kirby's Kings to the mutants, wow. We breaking it down in that laid back style. So grab your snacks, let the panels unfold. This is comic book chillin' with the stories we told. Comic book vibes, we flipping them pages. Legends and lore from all the ages. Golden to the modern, we talk that news. With Bigby McFly and the nerd cut loose. Yo, you tune into that Bronze Age flow. Where comics live and legends grow. Bigby McFly in the cut, let's fly. Best coast, baby, comics are what saved me. Big, yeah. Baby, comics are what saved me.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Christopher, aka the Bronze Age Nerd, and I'm joined, as always, by my faithful co-host,
Bigby McFly, the comic guy.
What's up, Bigby? How you doing?
Hey, I'm hanging in there, man.
Hanging in there. That's all we can ask for this time of year. Is the calendar has rolled over to December, which just, I know Thanksgiving was really late this year. It just kind of caught me off guard still. It was crazy.
Right?
We'll talk about that a little bit. We'll kind of have a little chit chat since we didn't really have a regular show last week. But first, before we get into the conversations and saying hi to the people in the chat and everything, I do want to take a second to say that we are streaming over on Bigby's channel. I keep pointing the wrong way this time. And we're streaming on my channel. I'm Bronze Age Nerd. That's Bigby McFly. We're also streaming over on the EXP, which I believe... kind of hard to tell. I think that's I think we had a new channel member join earlier today, and that would probably be, I'm guessing, over on the EXP. That's Triple B. Awesome. Joining all of our channels as members is really something that we would appreciate. So I always like to see those. And go subscribe to those channels. The links are in the description below. So yeah, Thanksgiving was this week. I hope everybody had a good one. Did you have a good one, baby?
It was Thanksgiving.
It was Thanksgiving. There you go. Okay. I basically had multiple Thanksgivings, and none of them were on Thanksgiving, so it was kind of weird.
Okay, I know a lot of people. Yeah, the way it was, like a lot of my family members were messaging me like, "Hey, we had to do it a different day because things just didn't line up right for them."
Yeah, it was weird. Like on Thanksgiving, my wife had to work, and my parents are, retired, and that's where we're going to go over because they live pretty close to us. And it was just like, well, why don't we just do it on Friday? Because she didn't have to work that day. And it was like, it just made the sense to do that. And so we ended up doing that. So basically I just, kind of hung out with my daughter. I tricked her into eating a turkey bologna sandwich because she was like, I hate turkey.
Yeah.
And so I had her eat a turkey bologna sandwich. I'm like, you ate turkey on Thanksgiving? You didn't even know it. And she was like, whoa, I like turkey. And then she ended up eating real turkey on the big day the next day, which was kind of fun. And then, what did we do? We went over there to my parents. We had a great time hanging out over there, played a fun board game. Props to Enchanted Forest. If you've got kids, it was a fun game. And then on Saturday, my wife got a free turkey from her work. And so it's like, well, we did that one at my parents. We may as well do a real Thanksgiving over at our place. And so she had to work that day, but I just cooked all day, and we did like a real deal Thanksgiving dinner with a turkey and all the trimmings. And that was fun, but it just felt like by the end of the weekend, it felt like too much Thanksgiving.
It's like the bears, the too much birthday.
Yeah. Throw in like all the, some Black Friday shopping and some Cyber Monday today. And my daughter had a doctor's appointment today, which shout out to Metal Elf here, who's asking about how my daughter's doing. For those that are in the know, we talked about it last week. We talked about it during the Heroes for Heroes charity auction. She's doing great and made a full recovery. She got the clean bill of health today on a follow-up from the ER visit last weekend. So I appreciate everybody out there that's concerned about that. That's very nice of you. And thanks for everybody who's kind of been waiting, by the way, on the charity auction stuff, because I just explained my last few days have been pretty hectic. And then I had that appointment today. So luckily tomorrow I'm going to hit the ground running on some stuff. I have a pretty free late morning and afternoon, so I'm going to be working on that stuff. So you might get updates about your items if you ordered prints and all that kind of fun stuff. So,
well, and seeing Metal Elf in here makes me remember we should tell everybody, make sure to toss some original art in the place where original art goes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we still have some time to do that. If you guys are interested, I'll go ahead and throw an invite. Let me get a fresh one here. This is an invite to my Discord server. If you haven't joined it and you want to, it's a free server, lots of comic news and people sharing questions and collecting stuff.
Something for everybody.
For everybody. But one of the things people share is comic book community art, which means art you do. Like we have people in there who are amazingly talented. We have people in there who are kind of just starting up or just picking up a pencil for the first time in a long time and want to, maybe they're messing around with digital stuff or whatever. They want to share their art. It's extremely chill place to share your art. No one's gonna, be like, no one's gonna be a jerk about it. So
absolutely. Yeah. No, it's all about just encouraging people to to enjoy drawing and just the feeling of freedom that gives you and just the endorphins that it creates.
Okay, that did paste the link. I was like, for some reason, I didn't think that pasted the link in. Great point here from our producer with the mostest in the background. There are two formats that we are doing, that vertical format thing that YouTube has rolled out over the last, I don't know, month or whatever. If you're watching on the vertical format, we are streaming on the traditional horizontal. You might not know who we are. Hey, we're a couple comic book collectors. We're going to talk about some comic book news and topics and adjust our cameras and all kinds of fun stuff for you. And
right.
Man.
And just want to make my head a little more level on the vertical because we were like, I look like a midget.
We are normal height people, regular height. Yeah. And someone needs a good shave. Oh, Gary, that's so nice. Well, I'm not available to come give you a shave today, but maybe someday.
That could apply to both of us, so
right. I think out of the two of us, probably more directed at me. Hey, by the way, Gary, best comic book community facial hair winner like 3 years ago from the comic book community, so shout out to that.
There you go.
Hey, I'm not as tall as Kyle, Jay. I'm only like 5'10", or 5'9" and a half or something. I'm kind of selling it, overselling it there a little bit. So we have some great topics to talk about tonight with the comic book news. There's one big one, which was the Magik and Tim Seeley controversy, witch hunt. I don't know what you want to call it, magic hunt, with everything going on with that character in the Marvel Infinity comic, and we'll explain that and get into that. But that's going to come up a little bit later. If you guys do have any news topics that you want us to cover that are going on in the comic book scene right now, please mention them in chat, and I'll try to pull up like a story about it we can share or something like that, and we can try to talk about it off the cuff. There's not a whole lot that seemed to happen this last couple of weeks here.
Everybody was tricking people into eating turkey.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Big Turkey was getting one over on everybody. Let's see. We talked about the AI X-Men casting stuff last week.
Yeah,
that was fun. Did we talk about? No, we didn't talk about this. This was a new one. So
I did hear some things about that possibly getting litigious. The AI X-Men stuff. They think it may affect their bottom line, and so they're talking about some ramifications possibly.
May affect Marvel Studios' bottom line?
Yeah.
Wonder why. Wonder what the argument
is. They said if it doesn't, they want to have control over how things look and what the narrative is for their movies, obviously. So
at some point, though, I mean, to me that's interesting because the stuff was dumb once you figured out it was AI. Yo, what's up, Murdoch? By the way, just real quick shout out. I should probably just real fast here make sure we got GT Key Comic was in the house. What's up, GT Key? We had Metal Elf we said hello to a second ago, and then Mr. Science Snake is here. Thank you, Mr. Science Snake, for slithering in. And we have the Collector P. What's up, Collector P?
Who got the important bronze, though?
Well, I was trying to figure out the important bronze here was, I think it goes to Metal Elf. Yeah, it's kind of hard to. Right. There's a lot of multiple channel comments here. Oh, and I missed one, which is Shigeyuki Kikita, who's got a cigar, hot chocolate, and now the best coast. That's all he needs. I love that. Hey, what's up, Archivist Adrift? So switch over to the non. Yeah, hey, absolutely. The tryptophan was real. Ended up taking an old man open mouth nap after eating. That's funny. We watched National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, which staple for many people when it comes to Christmas movies. And it always cracks me up when you have the two granddads who are like in the middle of the day, everybody's getting ready, and they're just
yeah, but who can't relate to that, right? I mean,
as we get older, it's easier and easier,
right?
And then Metal Elf. Oh, so we talked to Sean from Overstreet a couple weeks ago, and then looks like Metal Elf here had a demo with Sean. That's really awesome. Glad to hear it, Metal Elf.
Sean, super nice guy.
Very nice guy. So where was I going with that? Oh yeah, the news story here. Yeah, but first, before we talk about the news, really just got to get into our proper news attire. So let's do that real fast. Oh boy, I have broken seemingly everything. Here we go.
You broke it.
Murdoch's like, I switched over to the horizontal stream for this.
We switched in and out of those clothes so quickly.
Well, I mean, it was lightning. It's like Clark Kent changing into.
Gotta catch my breath.
By the way, spoilers: Clark Kent, Superman. I'm just saying. So it's kind of a minor blip on the news thing. Somebody in my Discord when I shared this on our news channel actually said like, "Hey, didn't we already talk about this?" And we did talk about Brian Michael Bendis returning to Marvel, which is already something that was out there. But the twist on this article, which came out on November 29th, is that Sarah Pichelli is also going to team up with him. And that was revealed at Milan Games Week. Now, that's going to obviously fuel speculation of what you're seeing here, because they were two of the people that worked on Ultimate Fallout when Miles came out and had a long run there. So we don't know what Brian's project is for Marvel, but Miles would be a lot of fun. I mean, that would be kind of cool to go back dive back into that well, after some time has passed. I'm curious. Oh, go ahead.
They're gonna pull the rug out from everybody and extend the Ultimate Universe and have Bendis writing Ultimate Spider-Man again.
Yeah, there's some talk about like an Ultimate Spider-Man type of, now that they're not doing the Ultimate Universe, apparently. There's some talk of that, doing maybe like a 2.0 or I guess it'd be a 3.0. But I was curious. I wanted to ask you and the chat, of course. Mm-hmm. So we were talking about Brian Michael Bendis. It's confusing because your name's also Brian. I just realized I shouldn't probably just say Brian. We talked to him at Rose City Comic Con. I've talked to him like the last 3 or 4 years in a row there, and always a super nice guy. And we talked about that at our charity auction where he donated a nice omnibus, and Crime Noir omnibus. That was signed. That was really nice of him. And he offered to help, and he was just such a kind guy. He's always been one of the most gracious creators to talk to, in my opinion, including one time that I realized I'd caught him walking out of the show with his family. And I didn't realize that until like I started talking, and I realized, I'm interrupting him with his family. And I even kind of said something like, I'll leave you alone. I realize you're with your family. He's like, no. Do you want me to sign something or something? And I was like, yeah, I had this, he was so nice. Anyhow. So I know he's a polarizing writer, which we're going to talk about a polarizing writer later on in the show. But I'm curious for the chat and for you, Bigby, is there a title or a character at Marvel more like that you would like to see Bendis on, to see him tackle? Is there anybody that he hasn't
he's
done?
Written so much, like. I mean, his run on Ultimate Spider-Man was epic. So. And his run on Amazing was good. I mean, there's some stuff that they retconned. Yeah. Hypno Hustler. There we go. Tropes got it.
By the way, I'm going to return the favor. I was hanging out in Tropes chat earlier because that weird day I had with my daughter's doctor appointment. I was hanging out down in Vancouver, Washington today. Went to a comic book shop, which I'll talk about in a little bit later, with some pickups that people might like to check out. But I was hanging out in his chat because I had this kind of different schedule where I was finally able to join Chris's news show he does every Monday. And guys, if you're not following Comic Tropes on his main channel, go show him some love. He's one of the, as far as I'm concerned, one of the OGs of comic book, retrospectives or whatever you want to call it, like deep looks at creators and comic storylines. And also, he does a great news show live every Monday where he talks about not only his pickups and what he's reading, but sometimes some live art, but also the news topics, kind of like we do here. So I recommend going and checking him out. Good friend of the channel. But apparently, by the way, he's going to throw me through a plate glass window the next time he sees me. That's what I found out earlier.
Oh, wow.
Because I called him 87 and he's actually only 86, he said. So it's a long story.
Fenestration, right?
Yeah. By the way, shout out to Awesome Sauce Radio as well, another good friend of the channel. What's up, Adam? How you doing? It'll happen. It'll happen. I hope your shoulder's better, man, because you're gonna have to bulk up to lift me.
Yeah. Over the head through the plate glass. There we go. Yeah.
I have some of that like mom trying to lift a car off of her kid strength. Oh, okay. That's an idea. Kingpin cosplay. Yeah, he did do some awesome Kingpin cosplay and a nice Vincent D'Onofrio impression. Anyhow, back to Mr. Bendis. Yeah, it's interesting. Like, I don't know. Miles is kind of one I feel he's kind of at a point where he might need some reinvigoration, and it might be fun to see if he's ideas in this time that he hasn't been writing. It'd be kind of for Marvel. I mean, it'd be fun to see if he can come back and kind of.
I'm sure he's had ideas while he's been away too. Like, it's like always when you step away from something, you're like, oh, I could have done.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if any professional comic book writer should be able to come up with some ideas, but I think it's fairly safe to say that a lot of fans of even his work want to see him try maybe something a little more fresh. I'm kind of basing that most off of the criticisms I see of him. I don't really have much of an issue with his work, but I do see some criticisms of like his dialogue and a few other things.
Right.
And so I think it'd be interesting to see if he has, some
I mean,
fresh
he's really
ideas
good at that teen dynamic thing. He did really great with, So I mean,
Avengers and all that.
Think about like maybe New Champions kind of thing, or maybe Ms. Marvel, or
I was thinking like maybe like a Defenders kind of a thing that could get revamped, or like a new lineup. Yeah. That reminds me, I got to send you that video. Comic Tropes was asking the origin of the term 6'7". Yeah, it's fun. I'll pimp the channel that I talked to about in his stream. There's a YouTuber called Language Jones. He's a doctorate. He has a doctorate in linguistics, and he does amazing YouTube videos on like slang and the origins of terms that are surprisingly intricate. And he goes into like how so many things, like there was one about like all the brain rot stuff that people talk about these days, and he was just going off about all this stuff. None of it's new. Like, it's all been around.
Right.
Like it's just a version of like something that the African American community was saying 50 years ago, and it's the version of this thing you've heard a million times. Like he's an awesome dude, and he has a really good presentation. And he, as you might expect a linguist to do, he has a really clever play on words in most of his videos.
That's cool.
Yeah,
he's a cunning linguist.
He is a cunning linguist. Yeah, Language Jones. Check him out. And that's your free plug, Language Jones.
Next one will cost you.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think like, a team book would be a really good suggestion, I think. Anyhow, I didn't see anybody else super chiming in there. So
nobody's chiming in.
And that's fine. I mean, maybe everybody's like, we've seen him before. We don't need to see any more. That was a quality joke. I agree. I'll
thank you.
So let's move on to our main story here. So I say story, and it's a news piece. It's something that's spread through the community. Oh, that's weird. It's like not loading up very well. Anyhow, I'll just show it. There was an image that's supposed to go there. This is about the X-Men Age of Revelation Infinity comic. By the way, the source on this one is comicbookmovie.com. I tried really carefully to pick a source on this because that's fairly neutral, because every article you read about it, almost, it's like that thing where it's sort of like a blog that wants to read as like an editorial on their opinions on everything. So yeah, there's a great comment from Chris there. I think people kind of overreacted. That's so weird. That's not. I'm gonna try refreshing this page real fast again, see if that does anything. I'll kind of briefly explain what this is, and then shout out to some of our friends that we're in private chats with, because I didn't know about this until somebody in one of our we have something called the Council of X that I'm almost more of, I guess, like an affiliate of. I haven't really officially appeared in any of the videos, but you have.
I have,
yeah.
yes.
You're I'm more of an offshoot. I'm like the Excalibur of the Council of X or something like that.
You're hitching a ride.
yeah, I'm across the pond or whatever. But shout out to them for sharing it in our chat and kind of talking about it. There was some Reddit post talking about, oh, I can't believe that they're doing this with this character and this story, and I by no means want to make light of the intention of the reaction of most people that had a problem with it, which comes from, I think, a place of trying to protect victims of sexual abuse and neglect and some other things too. I think that's important. But you'll kind of see my opinions and Bigby's opinions here as we get into this. So the story here is that in this comic book, and I'll be honest, I only read issue 4, which is the issue in question, and then issue 5, which is the issue that just came out, I think, a day or two ago, I want to say. This is all in the Marvel Unlimited app. It's the Infinity Comics, which are the ones where you just kind of continuously scroll and it gives you the whole story like in a vertical format. If you haven't read those yet, they're kind of interesting, but they're exclusive to the Marvel Unlimited app. And in this story, you basically have Magik going back to Limbo under the control of Belasco, and obviously, which is her tormentor. If you're not familiar with the original story from back in the day, and her kind of imprisonment in Limbo before she joined the New Mutants, and a lot of dark things were implied to have happened to her back in that original run. So the interesting thing to me is, and I'd love to hear your reaction here in a second, Bigby, when you looked at those screenshots or whatever from that Reddit post originally, which is what I did originally too, there was like 3 or 4 screenshots that honestly seemed to be taken out of context to me, because I was like, what are people so riled up about with reading these panels? And I was like, maybe I'm missing something, which is why I wanted to go and actually read the comic. And I was looking at it and I just didn't understand the reaction in proportion to what was being displayed. I guess that's the best way I can put it. What was your reaction?
I think just what Tropes was saying, like people kind of overreacted, but I mean, and do they have is there an age warning on the specific thing that we're looking at? That was a question I had too.
That's a good question, because even if there was, I probably would have ignored it because I just don't pay attention to those things normally. That's a fantastic question.
They have like a T+ or something like that, or I mean, and what topics are like off limits too? I mean, to talk about in comics too. I mean, even if it was referring to that, like we've had a Black Cat story by Kevin Smith where it depicted full on bad stuff. And
in fairness, that's a pretty controversial story that a lot of people.
It is controversial, but I'm saying, Marvel published it, and that was full on, right?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not saying that like that would be okay if this is what the story was about, but I'm saying like that those topics, sometimes need to be talked about. So it's like,
yep. But I mean, yeah, and it, just like good science fiction, is usually, this isn't always true, but a lot of good science fiction is telling a very fantastical story that gets to hold a mirror up against something in our society. Like a lot of, science fiction from the 60s that's considered classic science fiction, 50s, 60s, looks back at things like World War II, the atomic bomb, civil rights, a lot of things that were really prominent at the time, and kind of holds up a mirror through them with, talking about aliens, we're talking about whatever, creatures from a different dimension, but through the metaphor, you can see what it's supposed to be happening in that story. And I think that, comic books, definitely you look at some of the best comic books of all time, and V for Vendetta, Watchmen, all these different things, tons of them, and they have to talk about social issues like this. But at the same time, I
don't really think this was talking about that, though.
I don't think this story was that deep. Like, I just don't. And I think some of the argument from the people that are taking umbrage with this is that, well, it should be deeper if they're discussing this, which is perhaps a fair criticism. Maybe it should have gone a little deeper. It's just one of those things where it's not presented in a way to me that set off any alarm bells. And if you look at some of the posts on this on like places like Reddit, for example, it's literally everybody in those threads just being fully on one side of this. That's Tim Seeley should essentially be canceled for this. Now, an important thing we have to add, just to explain the story for people that aren't up on this, where it got to is a point where literally, and people are saying this is overblown and it didn't really happen. I saw the tweets and stuff in real time as the stuff was kind of happening and unfolding. And so Tim Seeley on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, was getting death threats for him and his family. Something, this is nothing new. We've seen this with a lot of other creators and actors and people that speak out on various things or do different things. And I think absolutely nothing in this should warrant that reaction. Just as a disclaimer, I think we kind of need to say that. It's so bizarre to me that that's reaction. If you have a problem with the story, if you take offense to it, of course you should speak your mind on your platforms. And if you think you did a great job, you should do that too. You should voice your opinions, but at the same time, you should act like a human being. And I can't see anything in this that would justify that reaction. That to me is a million miles over the line to do something like that. But he left the platform, by the way, with a kind of a I'm sorry, I just looked over chat and all I saw was, do you like tractors? And that one really caught me off guard because do I like tractors? I'm kind of indifferent on tractors. How about you, Bigby? Do you like tractors?
Tractor beams.
Dude, I'm with you. Tractor beams are cool. Yeah, no one can ever be perfect enough is a great point. I want to get caught up with, that's very nice of you. Thank you very much. What happened to the days when offensive material was made and everyone was able to be mature about it? Sometimes the best stuff needs to offend people every now and then. Absolutely. Shout out to, I saw Milton's Stapler in here, a huge supporter of our Heroes for Heroes movement. We really appreciate that. And we really appreciate you being here. No topic should be off limits. It just needs to be handled in a way that isn't defensive. And I think you meant offensive. Yeah, offensive. Exactly. Shout out to Comics Limited, our other buddy, Travis. No topic should be off limits, but I'm not aware of the controversy. Okay. Good to know that it didn't reach that level.
Even the original Magik miniseries in the 80s, there was a part where there was a corrupted version of Nightcrawler, and Kitty Pryde sees him and goes over to hug him, and the thing is like that doesn't really show what happens, but she's chastising him for inappropriate touching and stuff, and that's like in the 80s, right? It's this corrupted demonic version of him in Velasco's realm.
If you read some of the Inferno stuff, some of it reads not much differently than this to me, or it's kind of right up there. Awesome Sauce. I hadn't actually, so the page wasn't loading the pictures. I can show a couple of the images, but just so that's part of this that I do want to get into, and I will explain that in a second.
Trope said he doesn't know how old Magik officially is. If you Google it, it says she's between 19 and 21.
And so this is something I was mentioning to you real fast before the show started, is in the Krakoan storyline, you have Magik going on missions as part of the New Mutants title that was in there. And she's like going up to random goons that she just met and asking them if they want to make out.
Right.
You have the Finch cover from the mid 2000s, where she's a Darkchild, that was like one of the sexy covers. That was 20 years ago,
right?
I think about maybe 15 years ago.
Yeah, how sexualized was she in the movie?
Yeah, that you brought that up. Yeah, that's a good point.
Right.
I mean, they cast Anya Taylor-Joy. Of course. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Great points are getting brought up in the chat. Social media was a mistake. Give people a voice they didn't deserve. I mean, it definitely sometimes it shouldn't be used. Let's put it that way. Just like some people shouldn't be parents, some people shouldn't be pet owners, some people shouldn't be allowed to drive. But then again, who makes those decisions, right? It's always the problem. But I will show some of the panels here. Let's see if I can get this tweet to load up here properly. Okay, sorry, it loaded in a different window. Let me copy that over to this one. X, gonna give it to you. Bad timing on that joke. I didn't even think about that. Okay, so this is one of the panels. It's 3 demons looking at Ileana. Now it's important to point out that she's essentially in underwear, kind of. I mean, they're very generous underwear bottoms, and
shorts.
Yeah, yeah, like a top with a sleeveless top that's a kind of a midriff. One of the demons is saying little thing, the other one's saying tasty and soft, the other one's saying so clean. There's this kind of honestly bad art. I'm sorry, I'm just going to call it out as what it is, of her kind of like cowering on the floor, but then kind of like getting up on her knees and hands. There's absolutely, except for the art, there's nothing in this panel that is weird or strange.
She's got some She-Hulk arms there.
She's pretty fit, absolutely. Here's the panel. So Comic Tropes mentioned that they were she's begging for food, and this is the panel that I think I can understand the most, of where she's being sexualized. That she's full on dark child here, and she's I've never actually known how to pronounce his name, but the S apostrophe YM. I don't know if it's just Sim or Sim.
I've always called him Sim, but
yeah, Sim. I mean, the apostrophe has to mean something, I feel like, but I don't know how to interpret that. So she's kneeling before him, and then he's like, I'm done with this. He's throwing her basically like a turkey leg or something. And she's basically
see anything that's any worse than things like you said, like we've seen in Inferno or anything else where they're referring to the demonic realms or whatever that the demons would say to humans or whatever.
Oh, is it a joke about Dave Sim? Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I never caught on to that.
Okay, there we go.
This is one of those things where Tropes is going to be like
totally Tropes, you and your inside knowledge, unless that's him really pulling one over on us.
Oh, that's Murdoch. Really great explanation. She's dressed like Ripley from Alien.
There you go. Yeah.
In the hibernation.
Yeah.
Perfect explanation for that. So essentially, wait, was that because you're helping us?
So you're pulling one over on us? Or you have to you're real serious? Like, really serious? Yep, I pulled one over on you. Gotcha.
Okay, it's real. Okay. So she says, I am grateful that you would sate my pathetic needs. And she's basically in the Milo Manara Spider-Woman pose. Is the best way I can describe it.
Not so much.
It's more anatomically correct, but it is a very suggestive pose.
She's crawling. Yeah, okay. She's crawling.
I'll give you that. It's very suggestive. I'm not trying to say that I can understand a little bit like in the context of what's going on here. And I'll tell you this much too. In a later panel, which I can't pull up my account. I don't think you're really even supposed to, and show you the whole comic or whatever. But she's being led around on a chain, kind of like a collar chain later on by Belasco. But here's the deal. Yeah, exactly. Slight spoilers. She's playing the two sides of Limbo against each other. And she's manipulating the situation. That's kind of what you see in issue 5 as the story goes on. So ultimately, like, she's going to overcome and overpower this, I think, and break out from this sort of box that she's being put in that could potentially problematic for people. But yeah, okay, so that's kind of the situation, the setup. As far as our thoughts on it, and what for Milton, that's what people are complaining about. You got to be S and me. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
To me, the a lot of thoughts that I saw from people, and there is context is always important. Tim Seeley has written a lot of adult-oriented comics. Money Shot, very, very. It's literally about extraterrestrial porn, so it's obviously very adult.
Right.
A lot of stuff he's written essentially is definitely in the adult. Yeah, Hack Slash, which is kind of got a lot of the campy stuff you'd see in slasher movies in the 80s for sure. Murdoch, great point. So a lot of people are kind of labeling him as like, oh, well, this is the kind of stuff he's into and he likes. And while that's true, he does like to tell adult stories, and I've met Tim, and we actually talked about that briefly. I would have loved to have him on as a guest at one point to talk about. We covered a topic on Devil's Advocates for people that remember that show. One of our best episodes we ever did with producer Kyle over at the XP was the war on adult comics, which is kind of this perception and this demonization, play on words there, of comic books with nudity or sexual content in it, being scoffed at by a lot of more mainstream comic book collectors, which is fine if that's their opinion, but at the same time, it puts them in a lower class a lot of times. And I think there's kind of a perception that, oh, well, if he's capable of writing that stuff, it has to color everything else that he does. And that's not true. He's done plenty of other stuff. It's his work on G.I. Joe, if it comes to mind. Like there's a lot of stuff he's done that has nothing to do with sex and adult content or overt violence or something like that. So that's an argument I don't really see, but I do understand that people are bringing up the past there of like here's this context of this person who does this. But part of it, what I really want to say, and what I've been kind of waiting to get to a chance to say is, this is in a lot of cases to me where if you took the script and you just looked at the words, and then you took the art and you just looked at the art, neither one, I think, for me, again, wouldn't send off any warning signs. You put them together, and I can kind of see a little bit about what people are kind of talking about with the implied history that Ileana has. It makes some sense to me, but that to me becomes more of an editorial problem that should have been watching the tone of what they want to put out and kind of monitoring that. And if that's the case, I mean, do you really blame Tim Seeley for that, who just wrote the script? The script on its own doesn't seem offensive to me. I mean, what are demons going to do? Like they're going to
try to humiliate and torture you. I mean,
yeah. and also it is very important to point out that there is no actual sexual assault that is essentially confirmed that I've ever seen for her. It is implied, and that is definitely true. But you could also just make the argument that she was just a slave of Belasco's, and that he was grooming her baby to be his wife when she was of age. You could make that argument too. That's not right. It's obviously, but he's a freaking demon,
right?
Like, no one's saying he's a good guy,
right?
But also, obviously she's a victim of this, but it makes it even better if she turns it around on him and kicks both their asses in the end, doesn't it? I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Seems a little over the top, but that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, and hey, hopefully that is the case, but unfortunately, it is a whole lot. A lot of people. I mean, there's news articles that I was looking at before we went live today to see if there's anything else that really needed to be covered in depth, and there was updates, and people are calling it like what do they call it? The Bleeding Cool, which Rich Johnson was calling it like, I don't know, like Ileana Gate or something like that. I don't know, something stupid. Why has everything got to be a gate, by the way? I hate that. Hey, what's up, Dr. Plagueis? Sorry, I didn't say hi to you earlier on the chat. I might even... Oh, look, you talked about Local Man. That's a good one. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Apparently those people haven't read The Killing Joke. There's some pretty bad stuff in The Killing Joke.
Yeah. Awesome Sauce wants the movie rights to Money Shot. Don't gatekeep the gatekeeping bronze. Yeah, I mean, hey, I'm glad that people seem to have that impression of it, and hopefully that's maybe some sense is prevailing. I debated whether or not I should reach out to Tim, because I do have his email address, because again, we were going to try to do an interview at some point. Debated reaching out to him, but I just decided not to. I think I'll let this cool off a little bit.
I would think.
Yeah. I'd love to talk to him at some point, but the man's getting death threats and stuff like that, so I don't really
He
want
probably
to.
wants to keep his head low for a while.
Yeah, but I did want to give him a chance to comment at some point, and so hopefully we'll get to hear about that, maybe and maybe not. But
Right.
I've been a fan of some of his stuff. I haven't read everything he's done, but
Oh well, the first one, it was the way it was brought up in our group was that it was child sexualization. Well, she's between 19 and 21.
yeah,
She's not 14 or whatever. It's
well,
like,
she's in that weird. All the mutants, like sometimes Cyclops is portrayed like he's like in his late 20s at this point,
right.
and it's
Because they want to keep everybody forever young.
Yeah.
Forever young.
And I totally get that he's not portrayed that way sometimes too, of course. But I mean, he really is sometimes.
Right. Yeah. He's not portrayed as a 50-year-old man or whatever.
Right. I mean, even older than that at this point. I think he's like probably pushing 70, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe he should run for president. But I'd vote for Cyclops. I'm just saying. So it's one of those things where it's just I don't think that people really look at this stuff through a totally objective lens sometimes. And maybe I'm not. Maybe it's me. But it just feels like
what Travis was saying last month. It was absolute Batman. People just taking things out of context, not reading the whole story, and going crazy about it. So
yeah, and maybe I'll reach out to him. It's just one of those things where I'll be like, here's like some straight honesty. I've had some opportunities where I could have brought people on the show that I'm connected with, that I even had kind of conversations with them at times at the height of like controversial stuff going on. Some of the stuff I've covered on my channel over the last few years, literally some real controversial stuff going on, and I could have brought those people on. And to me, honestly, it felt exploitative. It felt like, hey, I bet you I can get a bunch of views if you come on the show. And it's just that's just not who I am.
Right.
So that's
not a good feeling.
Yeah, and I'd rather at the same time, if somebody approached me and said, hey, I want to be able to clear the air on this, I would definitely let them too. That's different, of course. Somebody's like, hey, can you give me a platform and a place to come on and kind of control the chat so it's not too crazy? Yeah, sure, of course I can do that. And I think it's fair to say, because she had us read the kind of a statement from her Sozamika.
Right.
We had some controversy stuff going on, and I kind of got to a point where I was talking to her and sort of like just say, hey, if you want to come on and talk about this, to kind of just have a little clip out there that we can reshare or something like that, you're more than welcome. She's like, yeah, why don't you just tell your viewers this? And I was like, perfect, we'll do that. So,
right. That's cool. I think people like giving people the option, I guess, is maybe a good idea, but
these folks never red crossed.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh boy.
there's I mean, like, yeah, there's so much more that came way earlier that is way worse in comics.
Yeah. Well, and the funny thing is Murdoch says all this over what amounts to a throwaway miniseries. And I gotta be honest, the reason I have Marvel Unlimited and I do check out a lot of stuff on there, the Infinity comics, I basically never read them because I don't know, just about all of them kind of seem, when you say a throwaway series, that's kind of what they all seem like. Like there's nothing on there where they're like, this is going to be like super important for this story. They play a few things up like that, but I don't know. Great point.
And just to reiterate, we're not minimalizing or taking pot shots at that topic. It's just it feels like it was an overreaction and accusation of the topic that wasn't really there. But
yeah. And for that matter, I actually would go so far as to say that I think I mentioned this in a way earlier. if people that have the opinion that there's something wrong about this, I think they by all means should speak up, as long as they do so in a way that isn't more destructive or more offensive by telling somebody they should go, self-harm, or threatening them. I think
Right.
that's where it's like, well, you've lost your moral high ground in this
Right.
conversation, clearly. So
Yeah, Adam.
yeah,
Adam, if you hit Google, it says 19 to 21.
but again, it comes to the comic book ages. Some writer could take on that story and some story that involves Ileana and be so smitten with the New Mutants classic stuff. And her age stuff has always been weird because she
Right.
got transported away as a child into limbo.
She grew up in limbo. She grew up faster than normal. So
Right. Like a time dilation kind of thing almost for
Right.
everybody else. So it's just one of those things. And then, by the way, I know somebody earlier, I'm sorry, I forgot who had made the comment, like, what's Marvel's official stance on this? And that's a great question. I haven't seen any. So,
Right.
there's some things for context there. I'll tell you this much, though. I definitely don't read anything that Magik's been in for years now at this point and think that she's underage.
Right.
Again, going back maybe 15, 20 years. That doesn't mean I've read everything that she appears in. Maybe there's some.
He was 16, 17 in the 80s. So
yeah.
To me, she's much older than that now.
Yeah. It's just one of those things. It's a little baffling to me, and I wanted to kind of foster the room for some conversation if people did want to kind of share their points of view on it. Maybe I wasn't seeing everything. And by the way, maybe that's still true. If you're watching this on the rewind, or maybe you're watching and you don't want to comment in the live chat because you feel like they don't agree with you, always feel free to reach out. Always feel free to leave a comment, and those comments won't get ignored. They'll get recognized.
Energizer from Power Pack. Now that'd be pretty bad.
Yeah, true. So the next one that's kind of funny. This to me is the tongue-in-cheek aspect of this. This is just a thing I saw before the show went live, and I just quickly added it to my Discord server and decided we could talk about it because of our topic that we were going to be talking about. Bleeding Cool is trying to, I don't know. I think I'm going to go ahead and say that to me, this is kind of a clickbait thing, which isn't always, it's the internet. Sometimes that happens. But anyhow, trying to say that Frank Cho is drawing outrage with Rogue, Thundercats, Power Girl, and Poison Ivy. And it's using the term, the problem is the term outrage is something that Cho kind of uses himself.
Yeah, it's his series, right? It's the Outrage series, yeah.
And so it's sort of that to me is the part of the headline that is kind of people see that
misleading.
Word, yeah. But that's what he himself calls them, and I'm not saying Rich doesn't know that. I'm saying that I think he's using it in a term to kind of get those clicks. But he shares some of the covers here. There's some gold in here. I'm just telling you, I love.
There's some very funny stuff in there.
Yeah, there's some great ones.
The Transformers one was
the wide load on.
What does she transform into? Alimony.
Yeah. There's some great ones here. I don't think anything here is going to get us in trouble. Hopefully, if I go quick enough. But the point is,
some of those pen and inks got covered.
I went quick. But the point is that he's actually been auctioning these off on Raremark, which is something that I had meant to talk to him about when I interviewed him at Washington State SummerCon. But our conversation, he actually wanted to talk more about supernatural stuff and all kinds of other things. He was like, "Yeah, please ask me about that stuff, and let's talk about everything. We can talk about art, but let's talk about that." So I was like,
right,
okay, cool. So if you go to his Raremark, he's auctioning off a lot of these. I'm actually going to pull that up real fast in this window so you guys can see it. Raremark is kind of like an auction platform, but this is, you can look right now. Here's some of his live auctions. Nice, 69 bids on this Jasmine one, by the way. 2,120 on that Jasmine, 3,152 on the She-Hulk, 2,100 on the Storm there, 1,200 on the Bestiality cover there.
The Crypto one.
Yeah, the Crypto and oh god, what is it?
Ace.
Ace, thank you so much. You got the unicorn Supergirl cover, which is pretty, or the horse, not the unicorn, horse, which is pretty scandalous. But so here's the thing: when it comes to these Frank Cho outrage covers, I did talk to him about these. The whole point is he wants to push the boundary. He wants, this is why I thought this was the perfect follow-up. He wants to question people like this. He wants to make you question, what art can be and what should be outraging people. He's like, you think that can outrage you? I take that as a challenge. I'm going to show this to outrage you. He's trying to make them more scandalous. Like he did the Jeremy Renner one about getting run over by a snowplow. And that's the one I asked him about. I was like, hey, with that one that just kind of came out, like, how do you feel about this when you see the reactions to these? He's like, I love it. Bring it.
But yeah, he said he didn't realize how serious it was at first too. So,
but I think he even made a joke about that. I think he kind of went like, "But I would have done it anyway," or something.
Right?
I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm misremembering that. But,
yeah. He said, "Yeah." For a second there, I was like, "I didn't realize how serious it was," but then I was like, "Yeah, I would have done it anyway."
Yeah. And here's the best. I talked about the war on adult comics earlier. Here's the best part: if you don't like it, cool, don't buy it.
Right.
Neat. Luckily you don't have to. And the article does mention that Murdoch is if you're looking at the bids he's getting off of these, he's doing pretty well. If he's turning these out at the pace he seems to be, he's probably doing great.
He's also, his position as where he's at as an artist, he's pretty bulletproof, I'd say.
Yeah. Yep. I'm just a fan of Frank Cho. In fact, I was hunting for a Frank Cho comic today. I was hunting for his Invincible cover. Didn't turn it up, but wanted to. Love that cover. Which is not nearly as scandalous as this stuff. What's up, Lyle? How you doing? Saw you jump into the chat there. And what's up to anybody else who's jumping in too?
Talk about some snow. Yikes.
Yeah, that's a lot. Wow. Wow. The Franksgiving covers. Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's awesome. So there's that. That's kind of the news.
Fun. All the news that fits print.
All the news print. So you want to see some comics I picked up?
Yeah, I do.
You sure? Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure I do.
And then we'll go through community art real fast.
Sounds good.
Why am I always forgetting which view? I feel like they changed this. Maybe that's what it is. I'm just getting old. Here we go. Okay, so I picked up like 9 comics. I think that's how many bags and boards I pulled. So I picked up a couple pages from the Red Daughter of Krypton series from the original art experience over on the EXP on Friday nights with Nick Barucci from Dynamite and Dynamic Forces. And so I'm trying to pick up the series of that, and especially there's actually a random Green Lantern cover that I want to get because it's a booty cover. I'm a collector of those. People are like, "Oh, of course you like Tim Seeley. You're a booty cover guy." But I'm trying to get those. So I got Supergirl 28. I'm pretty sure that's part 1 of the series. I'm pretty sure. So grab that one. Trying to get all those now that I have those pages. Very cool. And so these are all from I Like Comics, by the way. Shout out to I Like Comics, which was a donor for Heroes for Heroes, and talk to the owner about some potential opportunities next year. So more to come maybe. But all these are from the half price bins. So if anybody can see, it says $6, but I paid $3 for it.
It's not bad.
Yeah. And then I don't think I'm ever really going to fully complete these, but this is one of the anniversary covers I didn't have for the Marvel Borders. Little Daredevil.
That's not like an impossible quest.
No, but man, those freaking kids title ones are so hard, and the offshoots, they're a little overvalued for what they are. Daredevil 236 in pretty good shape for $3. Here's your booty cover of the week, everybody. If you're watching, this is Lady Death, Dark Millennium #1. I don't know who did the cover on this yet because I haven't looked it up, and I don't see. I'm looking for like a a signature on it there. I don't know who did that one, but there you go. From
Oh,
Chaos, Lady Death
oh
stuff.
my.
Yeah. And then went through some Iron Man comics. My daughter was with me because we went to that doctor's appointment for her. So she got a Captain Marvel kids graphic novel, and she got like a My Little Pony magnet. So she was looking through those, and I was digging through some Iron Man stuff. I got the
No way.
infamous Iron Man #1. Got that for $3. And then I picked up some classic Iron Man. Iron Man 21 for $5. Probably about a 5.0 on that.
Nice.
And Iron Man 28, first Howard Stark, I'm pretty sure 6.0-ish.
That's what I'm looking at. Is that Howard Stark? That's one of that's a key I'd want to get. I like Howard Stark's character.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Not bad for $6. And then this is better than both my copies of Wolverine 27. Both mines were newsstands.
Hey, Jim Lee.
Yeah, had to grab that. Little known guy. That was 15 actually. That was probably the most closest to true FMV I paid for something. This is in pretty decent shape. I know you know this book. I know a lot of people know this book. I was very surprised to see it for $3 in the 50% off bin.
What?
Yep.
You're kidding me.
No.
Whoa.
There's $6 right on it. Now,
oh my goodness.
He has it labeled at an 8.0, which there is a couple spine ticks on the staple. I don't know if that'll show up on camera there.
Yeah, but that was
even like in a VF condition, that's pretty good, I think.
Yeah, dude, man.
Oh, it gets better. You want to see my last one?
Sure.
Okay. How about this?
Whoa, Dave Stevens goodness. What did we get on that one?
So that was 40, which means it was $20.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Nice.
Trying to work on all the Dave Stevens covers that are highly collectible. I've got most of the ones I care about already, but now I'm looking to upgrade some of them, and yeah, there we go.
Well, I got a little haul from Mr. Akins.
Oh, nice. Let me
go
back to that view, and I'll make you the large player.
There's a whole ton. We just did an unboxing on my channel, but I'll just show like 6 or 7 of them. So,
6, 7?
This is totally cover by.
America, huh?
Yeah, she got some barbed wire there. I don't know. Crazy stuff going on there.
Man, if that was Marvel's America, we'd be talking about another scandal.
Right? We got the ballistic swimsuit special.
Nice.
So this is like he got a collection, and he got it like, I think he said it works out to like 3 cents a book. So he was giving me crazy deals on these books. So
wow.
Bisley scrapbook.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's like, how about Bloodstrike? I'm like, no. And then I'm like, oh, wait, these are Stephen Platt issues. I'm like, yeah, I'm interested. I like Stephen Platt's artwork a lot. So
yeah.
So there was like, that cover is amazing.
Right on.
And then
I had a Prophet poster hanging on my wall for most of my teenage years. So just like bullet casings flying everywhere.
Chastity #1 and a Cliffhanger #0. So there you go.
Oh, good point. Comic Tropes. Yeah, we appreciate that. It is still pretty new for us, and I'm looking at the preview, and I'm like, it looks okay to me, but like, but then again, I'm watching it on a desktop, and I get to see the preview of it. But yeah, Bisley looks good.
Sorry if it was hard to see him on the mobile. There,
and then
yeah,
got to say hi to one of our friends here. We got Damien, Sleepy Reader 666.
Hey, Damien. Yeah, so I mean, there's some cool stuff. I mean, I actually got a whole bunch of Valiant stuff too, and like a lot of it's the later run stuff. And then when I was looking closer at, actually, Mr. Akins was when he goes, "Wait, are those newsstands?" And they were like all newsstands, and they're like way late in the run stuff. So
I got Chad Cave in here as well. What's up, Chad Cave? Yeah, no, that was some good pickups, man. And by the way, thanks to everybody for the kind words on all the pickups that we were showing off.
Yeah, dude, I can't believe that you scored though. Great job.
I didn't really, I kind of went in. I was kind of looking, like I said, I was looking for that Invincible. I was like, maybe that's something that's I could see them having their I Like Comics is a very big store. Lots of comics inventory going in and out. And hopefully I can say he's talking about potentially picking up some massive collection that I know Bigby Euler, he said it might be the biggest one he's ever bought. And
Oh, wow.
some of the collections he's bought.
He's bought some big collections before, that's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, always turn up to I Like Comics if you're in the Portland/Vancouver area, because you will find some cool stuff there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, dude, that entry for $3 is amazing.
Yeah.
I know I didn't buy mine for $3.
Yeah, I know. And I've been looking at yours every time I go to your place, because you kind of have it sitting on top of like a box. I'm like, oh man, I can't believe I missed the boat on that comic, because I'm not going to pay what it's going for now. And I was like, oh crap.
I thought I got a good deal. The guy had it on his wall for like, what do you have it on there? Like $80 or something. And he gave it to me for like 40 or something. And I thought I got a good deal on it.
Yeah. Especially when you bought it, like, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm gonna show off some of our amazing community art. Now that we showed off our pickups, we have a few pieces that got shared this week. This is from Erwin Papa. That's the Nemesis from Resident Evil, if I'm not mistaken. I think that is. Could also be could be a Frankenstein monster kind of thing going there. I think he's got the pencils.
Yeah, it's like I can see all the pencil work. That's cool.
Hopefully that shows up okay on the mobile view.
Seeing all the multiple layers there of design, that's awesome.
Yeah, and there's the finals again. If anybody does have a hard time watching the mobile view, we are streaming over on the horizontal version on Bronze Age Nerd YouTube channel, Bigby McFly's YouTube channel, and the EXP comic book channel. This is our piece this week. This is from Steve, right? Yeah,
Steve Driscoll.
Nice, little Beal Bailey going on.
Yeah, good job, Steven.
Yeah, I'm going to the PX to get the new Captain America comic and a 6-pack of beer for Sarge. That's awesome. That's awesome. Good work, Steve. I think that's like the second like comic strip style comic I've seen you do, and that's pretty cool.
They did a really good Underdog.
Yeah, that Underdog was awesome. I think he's kind of found like maybe his power niche there.
Right.
Elliot Wright. Oh wow.
Bringing the Battle Bees.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, very cool, man.
Nice. And then, got some Bigby art here. Definitely.
Oh, yeah, that's from the live stream this weekend. So, working on Frankenstein versus Dracula versus Werewolf by Night. So,
nice. And then you got
some more detail in there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And okay, cool. Nice. Very well done, man. That's awesome. I like it. And Erwin bringing the heat. Oh god, that's a sick MODOK.
Yeah, he'd sent me a bunch of stuff a while ago, so I keep trying to plug a couple of them in every week. So I'm like, man, he sent me so many great pieces. I want to show them off.
Yeah. Awesome Sauce wants to know if he can reach out to you to potentially do a commission.
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead and hit me up, Adam. You got my Instagram. It's Bigby McFly on Instagram.
Okay, there we go. Yeah. And then that's a cool. Who is that?
I think it's Bizarro. I think.
Is it? Oh, okay.
I'm thinking it's Bizarro, but like Bizarro in like gladiator armor. I don't know.
Like a little bit of like an orc kind of thing to me, though.
Oh yeah, you got that? Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Whatever it is, damn cool.
Killing it. And I did that. Link is in the description as well. If you want to join the Discord, I also pasted it in the live chat earlier. The reason I say that is you can go post your art here, and we'll show it on the show. You can also go check out everything in better high definition detail, like I think some people are talking about. Trying to see everything. You can see it a lot better in there. You can also go back and see everything we've ever shared on the community art, including artwork from Bigby, from myself, from Comic Tropes, from a lot of people, Comics Limited in the chat, and Metal Elf, and quite a few. We'd absolutely love to see that. So share it.
All of our friends out there, Actual Drac, Roscoe, all those peoples.
Absolutely. On that note, I'll just say the last piece I have to see, and then we'll go around the horn to Bigby and see if he has anything to add. But if you did pick up anything from Heroes for Heroes, like I said, it's been kind of a complicated week. But tomorrow I am diving into some of the logistics of getting out the art to everybody, and you'll be hearing from me sooner now because of that, because I'll have some time to work on it. And I know Comics Limited is probably working on packing up some of the boxes of the comics, and those will emails will start going out for shipping and stuff hopefully very soon. So we'll get you guys covered. And if you ever have any questions or anything's going on, always reach out. More than happy to answer, tell you what's going on and everything.
Said you, Trav. We mentioned you.
What's that?
Oh, Trav said me too. I said we mentioned you, Trav.
yeah, absolutely, we did. Yeah, 100%. And probably some others that were farther back in the chat that I just have escaped my live chat brain. But lots of great art in there. And if you know what, if I didn't mention your name and we haven't showed you on there, go join and share your art, and we'll show it off next week. But yeah. How about you, man? You got anything coming up or anything you want to talk about or plans this week?
Like I said, I just did that unboxing tonight. I stole pieces of Comic Tropes' thing. I called it the Trash Panda Bonanza on my side of stuff because I was picking up all this stuff that I was making fun of myself because everybody, you always say like, oh, you have such a, you always make such wise decisions. I was just going off nostalgia on a lot of this stuff. It's like, oh, Cyberforce #1, yeah, give me that.
Hey, man,
all kinds of fun
one man's
stuff,
trash.
But,
another.
It was a bunch of early Valiant stuff and then late Valiant. Like I remember when that stuff came out, and the price was just crazy, so I couldn't say no.
Yeah, there you go. Awesome. That's awesome. We are gonna hopefully have other installments of our Best Coast Comics podcast. This is the live show, which we're live pretty much every Monday night. Holidays do sometimes creep up and stuff like that, but we're gonna have more episodes of the podcast coming out, so stay tuned for those. Oh boy.
I'm sorry, I stole some elements of your. I was. Where did I come up with? Oh, that's Tropes' thing.
Oh, you got kind of a
his trash movie bonanza.
Oh no, but what do you call it when you like unknowingly
amalgamate or
there's a term for that
kind of thing.
Yeah, something along those lines. I can't.
I was gonna say, we were talking about the whole. I just want to touch real quickly. I just watched one of Tropes' older videos about Greg Land, and
it made you think of that,
about hypersexualizing younger characters. It was like,
yeah.
So
it's a great video.
It applies. So hey, watch Tropes' videos. They're great.
You definitely go watch it. The TLDR: maybe don't trace porn when you're drawing just random, reactions to. People being blown up in front of you or something.
Right. Yeah. Or they just don't out and out just swipe other people's art and paste it in the background.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
But
awesome.
Yeah. Great video.
As almost all of his are absolutely phenomenal. And I enjoy watching the heck out of those. And good job covering for your. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I had to make up somehow.
Yeah, but on that note, we do appreciate everybody watching. We hope to catch all of you and your friends next week on the podcast, on the live show, and then eventually on the podcast too, if you want to head over there. And yeah, we'll see you next week. Have a great week, everybody, and have happy holiday season too.